Got some lunch bags laying around? Let's create this quick and easy ephemera and mini journal holder. Hi there, it's Jean from Inky Studio. Welcome, welcome. So glad to see you can join me today. I am working on a little quick fun project, and I am using Ephemera's Garden, Vintage Garden digitals, and these are called Miss Lady Fay kit. This is not the only one I'm going to be making from this kit. I am kind of stuck with how to proceed with a bigger journal, but I just wanted to make this really quick and fun little ephemera holder, mini journal holder, or whatever from grocery bags. And this can definitely be a no-sew option. It kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. So let's get started with that little project. So what I'm using, I am using the giant lunch bags, and I got these from Walmart. They are 6 1/8 by 4 by 12 3/8. Now you can use any size lunch bag for this idea, and I'll show you how to adjust your measurements. But I'm using 3 of these bags. Okay, so the first bag, well, all 3 bags will have to have this section here removed, and that's this the bottom that's down here. Let's just, what I like to do is I just kind of do a little sliver off this edge like that, and then I start cutting it along that seam, that bottom seam there. And you don't have to be too awful careful because we're going to even up the edge later on. Alright, so now you've got the bottom cut off there. And we're going to fold this back up like so, and fold this down like so. So we're going to want to do that to all 3 bags. We're going to get that bottom portion cut out. And then we're going to measure from the top of the bag to here, and we're going to cut it off at 12 inches. In other words, what I'm doing basically is I'm just evening off this ragged edge. That's just basically what I'm doing now. So whatever size bag you have, you'll be wanting to take off that raggedy edge. So I'm just going to fold it in half and gently put that little middle right there, just so I can see that middle line. I might even put a gentle little mark like so. I'm going to get out my scoreboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that middle somewhere on one of these lines. It doesn't really matter where, okay, just so that you have a line lined up with that middle. And then you're going to go to the right of that line, 1, 2, and you're going to put a score. And then you're going to go to the left, 1, 2, and you're going to put a score. So that when you're done, you have a 1/2 inch between these 2 score lines. So you see, it doesn't really matter how long your bag is. You just find that middle, line it up, and go 1/4 inch to the right and 1/4 inch to the left, and then you have a 1/2 inch. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, you still can do that. You can just take your ruler and you can find that middle and mark out 1/4 inch this way and 1/4 inch that way, and then take your ruler and maybe something that you know, something like this tool, or even a bone folder, and you can just get it going that way. And what you want is, you don't really need like a deep score line. You just need to see that line a little bit, and just a very gentle fold over, very gentle like that. Okay, so essentially we've created a little 1/2 inch spine in the middle of this bag. Now that's for the cover, and this is only for one of the bags, and that's going to go over the other 2. So the other 2 bags, what we're going to do with those, we're going to fold these in half. the best we can. Of course, you know, you may have I have some jaggediness going on here, but that's all right because we're going to be cutting that off. So we're just going to fold that in half, like so. And we're going to lay the edge against the score line that's on the right hand side from the middle. We're going to lay that right down to kind of meet it, just like so. Okay, and if you want to, you can put in a clip or something to hold it for you. And we're going to turn it over. Now we're going to see, this is the cover now, and we're going to see where it comes to the edge. And we're going to need to cut off all this excess of our second folded bag. We're going to need to cut that excess off right along there. And so let me do that really quick, and that will even up that edge, so that now when you place it down, you don't overlap from the cover. You have it sitting on the inside there. Now it's possible, even if you get this wrong and you want to take off more, you can do that later on. It's fine. And so we're just going to, again, line it up to that score line that's on the right hand side from the center. Now you've got two options here. You can glue this down, or you can open it up and sew it down with a machine. So those are your two options. If you're going to glue, then I would recommend taking whatever glue that you want to use, okay, and put down a bead of glue just right by that folded edge. Just put a nice bead of glue. Doesn't, you know, I wouldn't go overboard, but just make sure it's an even one. And then I would, after I've done that, I would then, you know, make sure it's glued in nicely, and probably put a clip in there and let it set. And just let it set for, you know, 10-15 minutes, just enough to make sure it's nice and glued, and it won't, you know, move for you when you start manipulating it. And so once you got that one glued in, then you're going to, or sewed in, you're going to take your second bag and you're going to line it up to the one on the left hand side, that score line on the left side. And you're going to cut that one off where it needs to be cut off, and you're going to either sew or glue that one in. And that's basically all we do to make this structure. Now there's one more step after this, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this in, and I'll be right back. So I have sewn them in, and when you're done, you're going to have like a 1/2 inch right down here in the middle. Right, and if you feel like you've glued or sewed them in a little on the wee jawed side, you can still trim. You can still trim off a little bit here at this point as well. So if you feel like this one here, this might be a little longer than I like, so I'm just going to trim that one off a bit. You may want to trim it off a lot. You may want them to be really shorter than your cover, but you definitely have that ability to do that right now. Now you have two choices here. You can stop right where you're at right now, and you can start filling up your pockets, okay, if this is what you wanted to do. I, on the other hand, wanted to make the cover a little bit more stable. So what I did, and I'll just show you the finished product so that you have an idea. What I did was I used, I printed on a 47-pound weight paper, but a good scrapbook paper would suffice for this. I put a layer of that scrapbook paper on this side and a layer of it on this side. And I glued this in and sewed this one in so that it is now really nice and stable. I'm not using it as a pocket. I am covering it all up, so it really makes a nice cover on the outside. So I did that with both sides. Now for the middle part here, I went ahead and glued them together so that I have these pockets sort of in an accordion type fold. And then I'll show you how I did that. very easy. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people do this before. So I don't want to glue my covers up. Okay, so this part, I don't want to do that. I just want to glue together the insides. So let's just go down the middle. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Just putting glue, and you know, it's fairly good size, probably about an inch worth of width there, something like that. And just glue those two together like so, and glue the next two. And this way I have 4 pockets that I can put stuff into. Now these two have that inch in between, so I usually make sure that they're standing up like this when I put them together, rather than laying down. I stand them up and make sure that it's glued together. And then I do it one more time. So you're not, in this particular model, I am not gluing the first two or last two bags or areas together. So I'm not gluing here and I'm not gluing there. Okay, so now you have this really cute little pop-up, these little cute pop-up pockets. Okay, very cute. Here in the middle. All right, and now I'll show you what I ended up doing. I'll just show you with papers and everything, just in case you want to get a hint of how I put this together. I used these prints here. So I took these beautiful flowers and I cut them down to make a pocket here on the inside cover. I also have, I found other scrapbook paper that went with my kit, and so that's sort of in the background there. I got just a little slip of paper for a little pocket there on that side. Very cute. I used this particular, the other side of that pocket, I used that for a piece of ephemera to slip in there. For the back, I used some scrapbook paper to make a pocket, and then I used another one of her digitals for this beautiful rose pocket that I cut out here on the end, and then I slipped in some of her ephemera from the kit inside. So that's how I constructed it, because I wanted it to be interactive on this side and here when you open it up. Now what I have elected to do for the pockets, of course you can fill them up with ephemera. I mean, this would make a great Happy Mail type of an item, but I filled it up with 2 little mini journals. Just took one of her digitals for the cover, filled it with paper. I think there's about 9 pages that I folded in half here, so that's like 36 sides. I sewed it together with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You could probably sew it with your machine, or if you didn't want to sew at all, you could very well put in a clip, a decorative clip here. Let's see if I can find one. You could just clip this together with a little decorative clip somewhere, right? And then stick that in there and let the pages be loose. But really, you should really try your hand if you've not done it. This is a super easy project to do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And there's lots of videos out there on that. Okay, so I have 2. I made 2 little mini journals. And then for the 3rd pocket, I am going to create a little, like a little mini folio ephemera holder. And I will probably do that in a different video to show how I put that one together. But this is just such a cute little Happy Mail, or it'd be perfect for just journaling one little subject or a little event. And you could load these up with photographs. You can keep them all together with your notes and everything. So it's just a fun little project for you to try, and it's so easy. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe and see how I put together the little ephemera holder and the project I'm going to do with this kit, I'm going to do it again in the future. So thank you so much for viewing. I appreciate all your support. Have a great day. Bye.